What's up, y'all, man? This Lives Unplugged, and I'm finally back. It's been about 3 or 4 months since I last dropped the video, and I hope you guys, liking the new layout, what I got going on. And like I've been busy, so I haven't had time to drop any videos, but I'm finally back. But today I want to finally speak on certain people in the Aboriginal community that's been pushing a certain narrative, been pushing a certain gender, and nobody's really saying anything about it. But I want to call that out because I've been seeing, big time teachers in the Aboriginal community teaching like wrong information, and I've been seeing it about really the last year. I've been seeing it, but I haven't said anything. But it's getting worse. But it's like certain things that the Aboriginal teachers in the community teach that's incorrect. But yeah, I want to talk about the word Niji. I've been seeing a lot of folks use their word. And when we first started hearing this word, it came from a particular person in the Aboriginal community. And this person is the biggest. And he's been doing YouTube very long. And I'm shocked to hear him say this wrong information. But let's take a look. It says Niji is a form of direct address traditionally used by men. So let's start right there. It was traditionally used by men. But you have females in the Aboriginal community using that word. But let's keep going. It also was proposed by Native activists as a replacement for the term Indian. So let's start right there. That word was used as a replacement for the term Indian. When have you heard your grandmother ever say, or your grandfather tell you, that he was an easy? I ain't never heard my grandparents ever say that. Not once. But as we can take a look, it says that word was used as a replacement for the term Indian. But you have a person in the Aboriginal community that classifies as an Indian, but he's telling you to use this term. It's crazy. And with this word Niji, I had to go look at some ancient books. I had to go back and look at some 1500 books, 1600 books, 1700 books, 1800, and I couldn't find that word Niji in any of the ancient books. I couldn't find it. I could not find it. And the only time I heard the word Niji was from a certain particular person in the Aboriginal community telling people about that word. So the only time I could find that information is when I Google it. You can't find that word ever being used as an ancient descriptive term. But the same person, he was telling people about that word when he didn't even know what it meant at the time. I remember him seeing a video with him saying that he was telling people to use that term when he didn't even know what it meant at the time. And it's like he be saying a lot of wrong information. But it needs to be called out. Because when you're the biggest in the Aboriginal community, you need to make sure the information you teach is correct. At least correct as possible. But all we had to do was a simple search, and we see that word was used as a term replacement for the term Indian. But we have a lot of people in the Aboriginal community using that word. And it's concerning because people are not doing their research. People are not doing their research. That's one word that I see a lot of people in the Aboriginal community using. A lot. And it's incorrect. But let's take a look at another word I've seen a lot of people use. Osyio. I've been seeing a lot of people use that word in the Aboriginal community. And it's being tossed around like it's a cult. Everybody's using these terms, using the word Niji, Osyio, Turtle Island. And I see how the people talk in the community, be like, what they say? They say, Osyio, I'm a Niji for Turtle Island. It's like everybody using that same lingo. But let's take a look at the word Osyio. It means hello in the Cherokee language. Okay, so we get that. But as we can see, it's Cherokee language. But we have different people in the Aboriginal community that's from different tribes. But everybody using that same word. When this word is particularly with the Cherokee tribe. But let's say for instance, I'm actually Cherokee. So I can use this word. But even with the language, I don't trust it because remember, you have Native American. This is the problem with the average in the average community. If you have teachers teaching the Native American history and trying to say it's Indian history, that's one of the problems I see that's been going on. Because you remember, around the 1850s, this is when these Native Americans start popping up in history. This one, 1850s, when they start first popping up on paperwork. But you have teachers teaching Native American history and getting confused from Indian history. So this is what I see that's going on. It needs to be called out. All this stuff is Native American history. It has nothing to do with us, the original people of America, the original Indians. But this word, it's Cherokee. I always teach on going back to your roots. So if you find out you a Creek Indian, you should be learning what the Creek Indian was doing. And I'm not talking about the Native Americans, because when you start doing research, it's going to tell you about Native American history. To find out what your ancestors were doing, you gotta go back in these old books, these 1500 books, 1600 books, 1700, 1800 books, and find out what these people was doing in those certain areas. Your people. This is how you do it. Find out what your ancestors were doing. I always teach on getting back to your roots. That's the main thing that a lot of people in the Aboriginal community is not teaching. Getting back to your roots. Okay, we know we Indians. We get it. Now, how do we get back to our roots? And that's something eventually on the channel that I'm going to have to talk about. After I drop about 30, 40 videos, because I got a list of videos that I want to do. And once I do that, then I'm going to go back in all these certain states and show you all these old books that's been recorded of what our ancestors was doing in the land. The stuff, the type of food we was eating, the type of clothing we was wearing. This is how you step back into your culture. I'm going to go all on these southern states and show you all of it. It's going to be very interesting. But with this word, Osyio, it's Cherokee. And to be honest with you, I don't trust none of the language. Because that's the language the Native Americans speak. Does not necessarily mean that our ancestors spoke this language. Because when you look at the census record, you're going to see 90% of your people, really, like 95%, if your ancestors were speaking English, all the way back to 70, 90, were speaking nothing but English. And to be honest with you, I believe the English was the original language. I'm just keeping it real. I believe the English was our original language. And then the colonizer came over and switched the okey-doke on us and said that English was their language. Because it's all documented we spoke nothing but English. Nothing but English. That's just my opinion on it. You know, you can believe what you want to believe. But let's keep going. Same thing with Turtle Island. I've been seeing a lot of people in the Aboriginal community use that word, Turtle Island. But let's take a look. Turtle Island is a name of North America used by some indigenous people. Some. But watch this. I seen something earlier. Let me see if I can find it. It was saying that it was used as an oral history by the Native Americans. So was it coming from our people? Where is it at? I can't find it, but it was when I researched and typed it up. It was saying that word was used by the Native Americans in oral culture. That was telling about Turtle Island and their culture. But remember, these people not indigenous to America. Remember that. These people started popping up in 1850s. So I just want to show you guys that there's a lot of people getting Native American history mixed up with our history. This is what's going on. And it needs to be called out. Like I said, I've been going 3-4 months. I've been seeing, a lot of people using these words, and it's becoming like a code. That's why you have to do your research. Like I said, with these terms and words, like you go back in these old books, you're not ever going to see our people referring to themselves as Nijis. You're not going to see a lot of people using that word Osyio, because that's Cherokee language. Mostly Native American language. The people that's on the Cherokee reservation, that's their language. It's not ours. Then you also have Turtle Island. You have Native Americans speak that in oral history. You can go back and look at these videos. That's when they say America was Turtle Island. It's not coming from the original so-called black folk Indians that was on the land. That's not coming from them. But I also want to show you guys one more thing, because this I'm gonna show you this book. This book right here. Let me see. Black Indian Slave Narratives. Let me see if I get it. Good shot of it. by Patrick Means. That book shows you a lot of what your ancestors doing on this land. I tell everybody to go get that book. I spent maybe like $4 or $5 on this book on eBay. And how I found out about this book was on archives. That's where I get a lot of my information from, archives, looking at these old books, all this information. But this book's not particularly old. But when I found this book, I said, Black Indian slave narratives caught my attention. You know how archive is, sometimes you can't look at the physical book online. And what I noticed, the books that have the good information, they will not let you see it online. So I said, okay, let me order this book because I got a feeling this book gonna have some very interesting information in it. And when I checked it out, I was like, it blew my mind away. It blew my mind away. It has so much information on what your ancestors were doing on this land. It's crazy. And this is primary source documentation. When I look at information, I always look at primary source information. I'm gonna look at some old video during that time frame. Or I'm gonna look at some documentation. I'm looking at interviews or things like that. I don't want to hear from somebody that wasn't alive during that time. This is how you really get down to the truth. If you wasn't alive during that time, I don't want to hear your opinion on it. Let me go look at the information that was recorded during that time frame. And that book, like mostly all of the so-called slaves were saying their ancestors were Indians. All the so-called black folks were saying their ancestors were Indians, but we already know this. Because your grandma, if she was alive, most 9 times out of 10, she told you that she was Indian. In that book, another thing I like about it, it talks in the way these different slaves talk, using their their lingo. But when white people saw that, that's how they say this incorrect English and all that. This is the way we talk. We had our own lingo. Every time we have our own way or something, another race try to tell us that is wrong. I don't like that. But yeah, in that book, you're gonna see the language, the way they talk. It was very southern, and it's gonna put you back in a time frame of when this stuff is going on. It's like when I read this book, like I can visually like picturing what those people experienced. They had so many great stories of the type of food they ate, this type of culture, all of that. It was recorded, and the people that did know they came from Africa, it was very few, and the ones that did know, they came right after the slave trade. Like I said, I got a video coming up where I'm gonna show you it was only 20 Africans recorded during the time of the so-called translated slave trade. It's gonna shock you. It's gonna shock you. And when I saw that, I was like, "It's no way in the world." I thought that this was gonna show me 10,000, records. When I looked at it, they only had 20 records on Ancestry, and these folks got 30 billion. But once you see that video, it's gonna expose a lot of things that's been going on. A lot. I got the numbers, and even with their own numbers, they expose themselves. They're gonna expose that was 3 times as many so-called black folks already here than the so-called amount of slaves they bring in. But so I always look at primary source documentation. This is what you have to do because it's gonna give you a lot of information. But yeah, I just want to speak on certain people in the community. I'm not gonna say any names, but we gotta stop using these terms that have nothing to do with us. Those are Native American terms. We got to remember that these folks came during the 1850s. So, like I said, a lot of people in the average community are teaching Native American history, not teaching our history. And what I do, and I don't see a lot of channels doing, is just showing you primary source documentation. I'm showing you documents. I'm showing you old 1800 videos, 1900 videos, and I'll let you really understand what's going on during that time frame from the videos, But I just want to say, it's been 3 to 4 months since I've been gone. So I've been doing a lot of tooling, a lot of research, and like I said, I changed my layout. As you can see, the layout is different, and I hope you guys are not liking the new layout. I did some upgrades. I've been upgrading my video with better graphics, better, more audio, more lighting. So like these last 3 months, I've just been researching and trying to improve the channel, because I know a lot of this information and next coming information I got is powerful, man. Once I dropped that translated slave trade video showing you the numbers, I got another video where I show you all these so-called black folks, how they whitewash history. It's a lot of good information coming up. So this is kind of an introduction back. And I hope you guys been doing good. Hope you guys staying safe during these times. But I just want to say we gotta do more research. Niji, Turtle Island, Osyio has nothing to do with our people. It has nothing to do with our people. It's Native American history. And like I said, I'm gonna have to do a part two on the Native Americans are not indigenous to America. Cause that's one of my first videos I dropped. But I'm gonna do a part two going into full detail. And once I do it, it's gonna shock you. I even got actual photos of it's like an 1850 book around that time frame, maybe late night, like maybe early 1900s, of how these Native Americans start coming into the U.S. and they start changing the history. They had these some people posed as the chiefs and all that, and I got a full book of actual pictures. It's gonna blow you away. And in those pictures, they all got the same backdrop, and that's how they did. That's how they rewatched the history. But yeah, you guys stay safe, and thank you guys for your time. Peace.